Turbo Force has such a great effect. And so I really appreciate you, and I'm glad that you like Turbo Force.
This is the Genesis Communications Network.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. This is your...
Yet, but since what is today? 15th?
Yes.
Now we got 2 people watching. Okay.
One of which is me.
What's that?
One of which is me.
Yeah, the other one is Cam. She's always 99% of the time. Emmy, you're the first one on the chat.
Message retracted.
Yeah. Dr. Mel, hello, but Emmy, your message was retracted. Did you do that, or did
Maybe she misspelled it.
Now she goes, hi guys. Hi Emmy.
Hello, Emily.
Mr. T will be joining us in a few moments. He is outside talking to his wife on the phone. We have a lot of stuff we want to try and clear the air on concerning this, the state of emergency that this country is in. So, oh, she did that. She took it off. So, okay, I just wanted to double check.
I want to finish my story that I was telling you.
Okay, tell me your story.
So, I was going to disassemble my little pistol that I had shot the couple weekends before, and I've taken this thing apart dozens of times, and I cleared it, and I made sure it was safe, and I'm trying to get that little slot lined up to push the pin out. It would not come out. I mean, and I was getting mad. I had to put it down and walk away, and I came back, and then finally I opened it up again and realized I left the magazine in. Oh, I felt like such a jackass.
But unfortunately, the magazine was empty.
Yes, and it was definitely, I had cleared the weapon. The only reason the magazine was in is because...
Yeah, I plugged it in, but let me double check.
Because you can't just lower the hammer.
Yeah. Okay. I plugged it back in, or I double checked it. It's plugged in, Emmy, so can you hear me now? Anyway, the governor just shut down all the restaurants and bars until further notice over in Ohio. I have a story on that. And you want to talk about a fear-mongering bastard?
What was that you said the other night? Not fear-mongering, panic-mongering.
Panic-mongering.
I never heard that term before, and I think it is perfect.
Okay, my mic is now 5.5 by 5.5. No, it's 5.45 by...
I don't know.
5.56 by 4.5.
I don't know.
So, yeah, you'd be surprised, getting back to what you're talking about, you'd be surprised. I ran into that a lot when I was working on guns. I tear 100 of the same guns apart and they just come apart and go back together just slick as butter. Then you get that one son of a bitch that's the same gun has the same problem, and the mother just would not cooperate until I put it down and swore at it. Then I picked it back up and right together like grease lightning. So don't tell me they don't have a spirit.
They do.
You
They
just have to
do.
know how to talk to them. That's all. I see. Yeah, the schools in Pennsylvania have been closed for will be closed for at least 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I ran into a couple doctors at the gun show I was at. Well, before we get into this, I was making good headway on my property tax. After yesterday, I was able to have, I had $1,100 saved up for my property tax. But my car got sick, so I had to take my car after the gun show was over to the car doctor. We're not sure exactly what it is, but we think it's a bearing going bad. Okay, if it isn't the bearing going bad, it's a brake that's dragging. Yes, sir, you over there.
Wouldn't it be awesome if your computer got a coronavirus?
Speaking of that, there was just a thing I saw tonight where the information on your disk can be corrupted by the coronavirus.
Yeah.
More hype mongering, So, now, I don't know what it's going to cost, but I imagine it's going to cost the better part of $400 to get it fixed. But I told him, I said, I want both bearings. If it's the front, I want both bearings fixed, replaced at the same time. Because I don't want to do it this week and then 3 months from now have to go do the other one.
Yeah.
So if one's bad, pop them both out. So, plus it was due for an oil change, so. But anyway, you see my my notch on my head?
What happened there?
Well, after I come back from setting up the gun show on Friday night, see right there, kids? See that? You see that? Oh, that's sore. I was getting into a couple of totes that I had that had a bunch of surplus stuff in it. Coats, pouches, gas mask, and other different things. So I lifted the lid up, and on the wall above it was a rack for cooking over an open fire, with the legs on it,
Yeah.
sticking there. It was hanging on the thing there, so apparently when I opened the lid, it flipped up and hit that son of a bitch, and it come down and caught me right there on the divot where your, eye, forehead, where it goes like this over your eye, and don't pay any property tax. The economy is shit. You're right. That's what I come to the conclusion. I will tell you what my plans are now, so you'll know if something happens and we're not here some week. Because of my health issues, I have an undisclosed location where we have a well or spring water. We now have the electricity hooked up to it, so we're in good shape there. So, if I hear of a confirmed report of the coronavirus up in Erie, I'm not a panicker, that's why I'm still here. But if I hear of it up there, I'm leaving Dodge. I'm going to the undisclosed location because I cannot afford to take the chance because of my underlying health issues. I am a prime candidate for an unsuccessful bout with that, okay? So, if I hear that, I will come in and I will bring up on YouTube and I will put a story just like we're doing right now. I will put a thing on there, and then when you tune in on Saturday night and you find a little short 2-minute thing, you'll know what happened. I beat feet to the mountains. I will take, even if I have to make several trips, that's why I'm getting the car fixed. Even if I have to make several trips to haul my gear. Now, don't worry about me and food. I got about 9 months worth of food, maybe a year's worth of food, okay? Between what I have from Y2K and what I bought since I got out of the POW camp. He says, good plan. This, what's happening, is a sign of what I've been expecting to happen a long time ago. Okay? I kept saying, people, we got to watch. You don't know what they're going to use to try and screw the American public. Now, unfortunately, what has happened, like I said, Mr. T will be in when he's done. Unfortunately, what has happened, we have the press who has done nothing but promote fear. Okay? I talked to a doctor today, and he said that the coronavirus is nothing more than a bad cold. But if you are elderly and have some underlying health issues, the older your age group, the more deadly it is for you. That's why you don't see very many young people or kids or anybody like that passing away. You'll see a few, but that's because they have corrupted immune systems. Now, something else, and we have a story, we'll go into that a little bit later. Colloidal silver. Did I talk to you about that this week? Colloidal silver has been shown, and we have the story to get the exact figures, but I'm just giving you a summary so you can tune in. The colloidal silver has been known to kill the first 18 strands of the coronavirus. This is not a new thing. This just happens to be strand number 19. Within 12 to 24 hours, the colloidal silver killed the bacteria. And why does it work that way? Well, it doesn't give the bacteria, number one, a chance to build up an immunity to it, because it is 100% effective. And so the virus can't live long enough to build up an immunity. And so, get colloidal silver. It's not going to hurt you. Even if it doesn't stop the virus, it's not going to hurt you. Okay? So get it. It smells like somebody shit themselves.
I thought it was you.
No, I know where it is. My septic mound. I bet you. I bet you the friggin' pump in it went bad. Because whenever that does that, it usually means the pump is dead. God, if that's the case, it's going to be a stick of dynamite instead of a new pump.
Well, back to the silver. I don't see it I work in a nursing home, and I don't see much in regards to the oral medications, but I would say about a third to a half of the wound care products have some sort of silver.
Yeah, and that was developed for World War I and World War II, for treating the GIs who were getting injured in all that dirt and mud. Even no matter how much they tried to clean the wound and sew them back up, there was a certain amount of dirt that they were going to miss. So the infections would set in easily. So the colloidal silver was put on there in the form of bandages to help prevent infections. The problem is the pharmaceuticals have convinced the people to get away from that a lot, because it doesn't help them on their bottom line, because if they can't sell their antibiotics. If the silver works, you can't sell the antibiotics. So.
And that stuff is pricey.
Yeah.
The bandages and whatnot.
Now, I have seen. Yeah, you're right about that, Emmy. I was going to get to that in a little bit. You can make your own silver. You don't have to go buy it, because it's expensive if you try to buy it. But you can make your own silver, and what you need to do is you just go to your jewelers and get a couple jeweler's silver bars that they use for making your jewelry with. 92% pure or better. You get two pieces about 6 to 8 inches long. You put a hook on it and you put it in a jar of water. Now, it's best to use distilled water if you live in a community and have city water. Well water is not quite as crucial. You put the two rods in the jar of water. You put a drop of lemon juice in it because that works as like a catalyst. Then you hook a 12-volt battery charger to it or a 12-volt power supply to it, and you let it run for 20 to 30 minutes. Take it off. It lasts almost forever. And Emmy, you were talking about getting it in your nose. Before I got hold of an inhaler, I used to put a drop in the palm of my hand, and I sniff a line. Okay, I do that in each nostril, and it would go down into the sinus, or go into the sinuses, and some of it would get down to the lungs. It's much better if you have an inhaler, where you, well, not an inhaler, but a nose squirt, aerosol, or whatever you want to call them. Take a deep breath when you're squirting it in you, and then that sucks it down into your lungs, because the coronavirus seems to be, that's where it attacks.
Respiratory.
Yeah. So, but it don't hurt to have it in your system either, in the bloodstream, so don't forget, do both. Take it internally, and if you can get a nose squirter or whatever, and squirt it in your nose. Like I said, I'm not guaranteeing it'll kill, but if the other 18 strands have been killed within 12 to 24 hours, and they haven't tested this one with it, why are they not testing it with it? Because they don't want you to know that it works. Pharmaceuticals can't charge the big bucks for your vaccine. So just use a nebulizer. Yeah, Jack said I tried to get one on Amazon, all sold out. Well, Jack, remember, like I said, you get these little nasal sprays that you can buy where you squeeze it.
You can get a generic saline spray for less than $2, I think.
Yeah. So you unscrew it, dump that out, fill it up with coil silver, and yeah, I mean you'll get it there. It'll probably work as good, if not better, than a nebulizer. But
I have a query, a point to ponder, a thought. This stems from the various Facebook groups that I'm part of that are veteran related. There's always somebody joking about all the stuff that you got in basic training and every deployment. Veterans are going to be immune to this. I'd like to know of all the people that, and I don't even know the names, but what percentage of the people that have been tested positive are veterans.
Yeah, I haven't seen any breakdown on that yet. Okay, but since Mr. T is out there, you want to read this about the governor?
I'll do it.
I've been talking for 2 days and my voice is starting to fail.
I got to tell you a little ditty. I was speaking with a high school, or a grade school administrator over the weekend, or Friday afternoon actually. And I approached him because I knew he was a principal, and it was just after Governor Wolf made the proclamation that the schools will be closed starting Monday for 2 weeks minimum. So I go up and I strike a conversation with him, and he's like, and he went on this tirade. Apparently, every teacher and their brother and every, family member just decided to start texting him. He was getting 10, 15 texts a minute. Well, what's going on? What's going on? What about Monday? And he's like, he had to turn his phone off because it was just so infuriating. And so he posted on that school's Facebook account, here's what we know, here's what we don't know. And when I find out more, I'll let you know. But as of right now, all Pennsylvania schools are closed for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Somebody put down in the comment, does that include our school as well? He was livid.
These are the people that are supposed to be teaching our kids.
Well, that was a family member. He was pretty sure it was a parent.
Well, the parents of the kids that they were trying to teach, It shows you how dumbed down they are. They cannot think and reason if all schools, what part of all do you not understand? A-L-L.
Yeah, every school in Pennsylvania is closed except for yours.
Yeah.
He should have said, yeah, drop your kid off.
Now they're talking about doing drive-by breakfast for the students that are underprivileged,
Oh boy.
okay? So they can still get one good meal a day.
I know, I saw that all Crawford Central schools will be having the lunch program. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's great for second district and first district and maybe even Neeson Hill, but like out there at West End by where I grew up, there's like maybe 5 or 6 kids within like a distance, like walking distance of sorts, so I don't know how that's going to work. Okay, on to Newsmax. Governor says Ohio may have 100,000 virus cases. Okay, Ohio GOP Gov Mike DeWine said on Sunday there are estimates of 100,000 undiagnosed cases of coronavirus in the state, and some may never know they have the fast-spreading illness. In an interview on CNN's State of the Union, DeWine said DeWine said the experts on warning of the quick and wide spread of COVID-19. That didn't make any sense. What the experts tell us is that we'll end up in Ohio and across the country with 40 to 70% of our population who actually gets this, he said, adding the estimates of 100,000 who are undiagnosed, was to illustrate that we've got a lot of people walking around in Ohio who are positive, who have not been tested. Some don't know it, some may never know it. The most important thing I think we can do is, as they say, flatten this curve and spread this out over a period of time, he added. That's why we closed the schools. That's why we issued last week the order, no more people coming together in more than 100. We closed the casinos. We're doing these things to try and keep people apart. Keep people apart. According to DeWine, the odds are the 3-week school closure now in effect in Ohio will be extended for a lot longer. We've informed the superintendents, while we've closed schools for 3 weeks, that the odds are this is going to go a lot longer, and it would not surprise me at all if schools do not open again this year, he said. He said Ohio is following medical advice on a travel ban within the state. It is important that all of us rely on the medical experts and the modeling and what they tell us, he said. We're seeing more and more businesses that are closing, doing a lot of things remotely. So these are all things that businesses can do, all things that individuals can do. What I have learned from talking with experts is it's not just one thing. You've got to do a lot of different things. You've got to do them early, and that's why we're trying to do it in Ohio. In a separate interview on NBC News, Meet the Press, DeWine said the state is also looking at closing down bars and restaurants. We are certainly looking at it, he said. We started off last week closing the schools. We reduced the number of people gathered together to 100. We have restricted access to our nursing homes, to our prisons, so we are taking tough steps. Every day counts so much, and you cannot wait. You have got to move very, very quickly. Go on.
Yeah, Emmy has a good question. We'll go on to I'll get to your question here, Emmy, in a minute, because I want to make some comments about the governor over in Ohio. What a dumb jackass piece of shit that is. Okay? You scared the shit out of your population by saying there's 100,000 possible cases out there that they don't know about. What the hell are you trying to scare them for? Talk about what you do know. Don't scare the population into, well, there might be 100,000 people with it. Okay. If there are 100,000 people with it and you scare them, they won't get medical advice because they are trying to self-isolate themselves, self-quarantine, so then they won't get the medical attention they deserve. I believe, I'm a conspiracy theorist, if you want to call me that. I go way back on this shit. This is what I've been predicting for a nation breaker. They're using this to try and destroy Trump. They're trying to crash our economy. They have to have something that will stop. What's the best way to stop interstate commerce? Have an internal illness of some sort that's supposedly spreading and very deadly to everybody. Okay? No interstate travel, because that's what Trump's considering now. There's no interstate travel. I think he's getting that on bad advice. But anyway, that's what's going on. You have this jackass governor who is crying the end of the world in the state of Ohio. Okay? And how can you even say that, even guess that there's that many when there's only 17,000 test kits, or maybe more by now, but the last number I had was 17,000. So how can you even open your mouth up and say that when you don't have the test kits to confirm it? That is hype mongering, panic mongering, okay? And you know what they used to do to people back years ago when they were out there doing that? They used to fine them and put them in jail for a while, okay? So, but that's not going to happen to him because he's an elected political official, and he knows because he's smart. Him governor now, okay? He's about as smart as the Rock out there.
Yeah, that's the same as yelling fire in a movie theater. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's the same thing.
What our elected officials need to be doing is everybody, all right, calm down. You don't need to go to the store and buy 15,000 rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Use your head.
Yeah, two comments here. Then we'll get back to this panicking. Anyone know how come how the virus spread so fast across the country? My opinion, for what it's worth, was the seriousness of the virus was withheld. Okay, for a long time. That allowed people coming from that were over in the Guangdong province or city, where the Chinese Military Biological Research Center is. Guangdong. No, Whitehole. Okay, it was withheld until the people returned back to the States. They were contaminated, they didn't know it. So when they came in to Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, wherever it was they were going to, they dispersed and went across the country to where their home was or businesses were. That's how it spread so quick, because it was not released right away that this had been released. Done by design? Absolutely. It's to destroy Trump and trash our economy. To bring in, this is the New World Order's last gasp at trying to get total control. You watch. If this thing continues, you will be starting to see different states declaring an open state of martial law. And we're already over in Ohio, and the thing just come across here from, I think it was Jack, where they said they've already started to close the restaurants over in Ohio. Okay, so you will see more of this spread and spread and spread. You're going to see panic buying of the food stuff. If the toilet paper is already gone, wait till the people get to the point where they can't get any food being transported. Most stores only have a 2 or 3 day supply of food. Okay, people find out that, hey, we're talking I guess they've now raised the quarantine period from 14 days to 21. Okay, you're going to see them change that to even longer. And when people start running out of food, what's going to happen?
Real panic will set in.
Real panic's going to set in, and you're going to have riots, food riots, because there's no food. That means if there's no food in the grocery stores, they're going to go after the people that do have food. Which brings me back to what I've been telling you for years. More ammo, magazines, food stuff, and have a place to go to get out of Dodge. You're not going to be able, if you live in Cleveland, for example, where you are, Jack, you're not going to be able to, I don't know how many people live in Cleveland, okay?
I think last estimates for population is 112.
112,000?
112.
Oh.
Just 112.
Just 112 in Cleveland, yeah. What Cleveland? Cleveland on Mars?
Oh, no, there's just a lot of mirrors.
Yeah. Well, then he just breaks the mirrors and he'll be all right.
There you go.
But let's say there's, I don't know, 300,000, 400,000. I'm just taking a guess. You don't have enough ammo, and you can't stay awake long enough to protect you and your family from that size of a mob. So what you have to do is you have to get out of Dodge. And so you find yourself a place to go. And figure out how to get there by dirt road, not by main roads. Which you and I, next time you get some time off, you and I need to make a dirt road trip.
I don't like doing that with you. You drive me crazy.
Oh, I love it because you go nuts.
Jesus. It's excruciating. I swear to God.
Yeah, these are things that you need, and you still have a little bit of time. There's supposed to be a gun show next weekend at Jefferson, Ohio. Okay, or not next weekend. I'm sorry. Back that up. There's supposed to be a gun show the weekend after Easter in Jefferson, Ohio. But if they're closing restaurants and they're restricting public gatherings of 100 people or more, it's probably not going to come off. It will probably get ordered by the governor to cancel. Okay, but in the meantime, so I know they canceled a couple down by Niles, I think, Ohio, and then they canceled the one down over in Philadelphia at Oakmont or Oak Ridge or whatever they call it. They were supposed to be.
I'm interested to find out what's going to happen with me tomorrow. I've, like I said, I work in a nursing home. I've been off for a week. I've been kind of keeping up with emails and what they put out, and our infection control team has been on top of this from day one. There's only one way to get in either one of the buildings for any visitors, and you have to go through like a questionnaire, in which that isn't going to stop much of anything, but it's being put out that unless you have like a critically dying, ill relative, don't come.
Mm-hmm.
And
do yourself a favor and do them a favor, because they got enough problems as it is. Don't go. Backing up, Emmy, that's one way it got here so fast, is the outbreak in Seattle at that one nursing home. That was because a guy that went to the nursing home, I think to visit some of his relatives, had just come in from China. Okay, and then went to the nursing home before they knew about the outbreak and that. So,
look who decided to join us.
I'm sorry, my aunt got long-winded.
well, we thought maybe you were being run down by the bear. We tracked you up here.
We were already called. I already called dibs on your rifle if you didn't come back. So
I have 2 aunts and 6 cousins, all in around the Philadelphia area, all in the danger zone.
We were talking about the Royal Highness stupid ass governor of Ohio,
DeWine,
yeah, falling for the fear mongering, wrong term, panic mongering, okay, telling the people there's probably 100,000 cases. He has no idea how to base it on, but that's what he's telling
He
people.
already slapped silly.
Slap silly ought to be handcuffed and hung from the nearest tree.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Now, Horsewhip, to me, tarred and feathered.
That's a good idea. That would protect him. He wouldn't be able to get the coronavirus, would he? I don't know if coronavirus is getting through tar.
What needs to happen is he needs to stop being a governor for a little bit and go work in a hospital.
Yeah.
You know, there's people sick.
Well, I got notified Saturday morning that I have a brother-in-law in a rehab center down in Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. That as of 6 p.m. Saturday, no visitors will be permitted.
That's the way it is where I work.
My mother-in-law is in a rehab center, a different location. They're allowing one visitor. Okay, to come in. And don't be sick, because if you're sick,
You ain't getting
any
it.
matter, shape, or form, you're not going.
Well, you know, in those particular facilities, I can understand that kind of precaution because those people do have a weakened immune system
Yes.
for whatever and other underlying things. So they're trying to protect them, but they have blown this thing totally out of proportion. If you look at the numbers, the last set of numbers I had was 190,000 cases throughout the world. It's probably up to 200 or 220 now, because those numbers are about 3-4 days old. Okay, you have, what is it, 12 billion people on this planet? Give or take, yeah, give or take one or two. Okay, you have 12 billion people. You have 200,000 of them get sick. This is a pandemic. It's going to kill the world.
We're gonna die!
Okay, you're all going to die out there, but the problem is children get sick, but they don't die. The biggest death category is the senior citizen who has health issues, and there are some younger ones, but most of them probably have health issues too. Okay,
Now,
like diabetes and all
I
that.
heard, everybody who died in the United States was over the age of 70.
Mm-hmm.
And every year, when the flu season hits, at least at our facility, and I'm sure it's like everybody's else, it kills a lot of older people. It just
The
takes.
flu is deadly.
Now, more people died this year from flu than the coronavirus so far in the United States.
Yeah, per number too. I'm talking 200,000 cases, 200,000 cases. Okay, so the death rate is only 2 to 3%. The highest percentage is in the elderly. Okay, so I was telling him I had a doctor come through the show. I know him very well, and we got to talking, and we were talking about this coronavirus, and he said this is nothing more than just a bad cold. If you have a weakened immune system, yeah, you're going to have real problems. Okay, but if you have a good, healthy, it'll make you sick, but it's not going to kill you. Okay, and I told him, well, I'm going home on Monday. I'm going to make up some colloidal silver because my son, who I've been trying to get to take colloidal silver for years, finally said to me, Dad, you make me some colloidal silver, I'll take it. Okay, so I'm going to make up some batches of colloidal silver for the family tomorrow while my car's in the car hospital. Seems
Surrounded by caps.
no, it sounds like a bearing going bad in that. So, but anyway, yeah, he said the problem with this is there's too much hype, and there's stories about the panic mode that has been set by the hype mongering press is more damaging to the population and the economy than the disease itself. Okay, there's one of the guys, I think it was Jack, just said that the governor's there's 37 cases, confirmed cases of coronavirus in Ohio, and the governor has ordered the restaurants now to start closing.
At 9 o'clock. Bars, restaurants.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh, you're charging again. Okay, that's good. So, anyway, I'm about burned out. So go ahead, pick a story here. Just be wary, kids. Do what you would normally do. Wash your hands. Don't touch your mouth if you've touched your feet.
And I rub my eye around.
Yeah, don't rub your eye. If you wiped your butt from going to the bathroom, that's if you had toilet paper to do it with. But shut up and drive, Bob. Whatever you said, Bob, must got you in trouble.
All right, since we're on the whole coronavirus shtick, this I find mildly distressing. New York sets up coronavirus containment zone, will deploy National Guard to assist. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced on Tuesday that he is deploying his state's National Guard to assist in establishing a coronavirus containment zone in New Rochelle, north of New York City. Pardon me. New Rochelle, a city of approximately 80,000 people. We're going to get quarantined in here, the three of us. Oh boy, we don't have near enough liquor. We're going to have to get a delivery. At any rate, New Rochelle.
Mom can bring us down about a half gallon.
She got any Corona stuff up there?
Yeah, we got Corona.
New Rochelle, a city of approximately 80,000 people, 20 miles north of the big city, is a particular problem because a cluster of cases has broken out there, Cuomo explained at a news conference. New Rochelle at this point is probably the largest cluster of these cases in the United States, he said, according to the New York Times. The numbers have been going up, Cuomo added. The numbers continue to go up. The numbers are going up unabated, and we do need a special public health strategy for New Rochelle. Westchester County, where New Rochelle is located, has 108 cases, Cuomo said, compared to New York City, which has 36 known cases, the Wall Street Journal reported. This is unique in the United States of America. We haven't seen this anywhere else, Cuomo said. Think about it. New Rochelle has double the amount of cases as New York City. There are 173 confirmed corona cases statewide. The epicenter of the zone is the Young Israel of New Rochelle, a synagogue at the heart of modern Orthodox community that was attended by a 50-year-old attorney dubbed Patient Zero in the state, the Journal reported. Cuomo said New York's National Guard will be used in a 3-square-mile containment area centered on the synagogue to deliver food to residents as well as assist in cleaning public areas. Imagine if that was another religious center aside from a synagogue. There would be outrage.
Oh my God, you bunch of hating, mongering sons of bitches. What the hell's the matter with you racist bastards?
Mm-hmm. The containment zone will be in place for 2 weeks starting Thursday. During that time, facilities will be closed and large public gatherings will be limited. I'm guessing that was probably last Thursday. Cuomo also said Northwell Health, New York State's largest healthcare provider, will be setting up a satellite coronavirus testing facility in the containment zone. The New York Times reported that several private schools and universities have canceled classes on campus. Columbia University, Fordham University, St. John's University, and New York University are among the colleges affected. Rutgers University in neighboring New Jersey also canceled classes on campus. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio has decided not to cancel his city's public schools, but might close particular facilities if students or teachers are determined to have been exposed to the virus. These schools would then be cleaned and reopened in a day or so. We cannot shut down the entire school system because of undue fear, he told MSNBC on Tuesday.
The thing that I find interesting, that the town of New Rochelle got a population of 108,000, I think, or 80,000.
80,000.
Okay, they got 108 cases or whatever it was.
Yes.
New York City has 7 million people, and they got
36
cases. Okay, so who's not washing their hands? I'll tell you. Okay, but they're again panic. It's a pandemic. Of course, we can blame the New World Health Organization. We can blame the World Health Organization through the UN, and we can blame the press for hype mongering and panic mongering. But I want to clear something up. I need to do this one thing of it. When Trump first closed, shut down the travel, put a travel ban on the first 5 countries, he was immediately called a racist. Okay, immediately called a racist by who? By the Democrats in Congress. So then here last week he announces another travel ban, banning all travel coming from Europe.
Well, except England, UK, and Ireland, which has just recently been added to that
Yeah,
list.
okay. So, but no travel from Europe, the mainland Europe, and no travel going there.
Well, the exception would be Americans trying to get back.
Yeah. Now they're saying, well, gee, that's a little bit too late. Too late. It's never too late. Okay. Maybe it wasn't. My personal opinion wasn't soon enough. When they saw that this was spreading from China to Europe, and us in the middle, all international travel should have been shut off then. I see now Mexico is talking about closing their border between the United States and Mexico because they don't want the spread of the virus down there. Well, I can send them a couple cases if they want.
Yeah, the Yankees coming down here.
Yeah, you don't want them sick Yankees coming down here. Which maybe the coronavirus has got a hidden benefit. Maybe Mexico will build that wall that Trump was saying after was going to make them pay it after all. But he fell under criticism for doing something. He fell under criticism for supposedly not doing it fast enough. He is now falling under criticism because the disease for the CDC, okay, was in such a screwed up mess that he cut the budget to get rid of the deadwood, get rid of the people that weren't performing. The only problem was, well, you should have seen this coming. Nobody seen this coming. And then when it did happen,
Tom Clancy knew.
okay, well, you probably did. But the Chinese withheld the information. The Chinese withheld the information, and it was done for one reason: to allow the foreigners that were in China in that area to go home and take that disease with them. Okay? My conspiracy theorist, yes. They're trying to destroy Trump, and they're trying to destroy our economy. So you figure out what the outcome of that's going to be. One world government, new world order, if we allow it to succeed.
Before we read any other articles, how many of you out there have read Tom Clancy?
I've read several of his books.
I have not.
You know,
If you read a number of his novels, you know that he has a character called John Ryan, or Jack Ryan, okay, who, in the book Debt of Honor, becomes President of the United States. Now,
boy, would he make a good one.
Jack Ryan was not a politician. He accidentally became President of the United States through a kamikaze attack that wiped out Congress and a number of government officials. Well, they a bad thing, but anyway. He becomes President of the United States. You go to the next book, Executive Orders, you see that President Ryan is faced with a number of crises. He's got problems with China. He's got problems with India. He's got problems with the new country combined with Iraq and Iran. who end up attacking Saudi Arabia. We get involved and we kick their ass anyway. And on top of all that, we have a plague, a disease, a virus, weaponized Ebola from the Iranians. And if you have read that book, and I pulled that again this past week, you will see a lot of what happening in that book is happening here in the United States. We have mass-induced hysteria and panic by the media. We have people who are just not willing to believe it. Oh, that can't happen here. Okay. But we do have other people say, oh, yes, it can. And it has. We have Jack Ryan, who's thinking about imposing a ban on interstate travel. And told us that's unconstitutional. We have a media who's fighting him at every turn since he was sworn in. Almost like a Trump presidency.
Trump and changed his name to Jack.
It's almost like they're following a script.
I know. This is the fourth year of Trump's presidency, and the book had happened in the first year of Jack Ryan's presidency. But their similarities are just wow.
Well, if it had it all happen at the same speed, in the book as it's happening here, people would believe it, and then things would fall apart on the plans of the New World Order. But it's already been scripted.
You have a number of troops who are able to deploy in Saudi Arabia who weren't infected with the Ebola virus, and they'd be able to, with the Kuwaitis and the Saudis, defeat the combined three-corps Iranian, Iraqi army, and the Ebola virus. It's people stay home, don't go to work, don't go to school, and they break that chain of it spreading around and finally starts dying out. Where people do die, as we have here in the United States right now. But this is like reality. Taking you got the script from fiction.
Yeah, it sounds like you're following somebody's notebook.
If you don't have the books, try to find them. If you have Debt of Honor and more particularly executive orders, reread the book.
Yeah. There was, I think somebody has read the book, Martin Grace. Wasn't that at the end of the book where Japan tried to take Hawaii? Okay.
Well, in the book, Debt of Honor, Japan takes Guam.
Well, Guam, Hawaii, okay.
And we get that.
Yeah, and then cannabis, mouse. That will work. Next it will go negative and we'll pay them for our money. We are already paying the Federal Reserve for our money. We pay them to print it for us. We pay them when we borrow it back from them to use to fund our country. So we are already paying them for our money.
If you recall history, in 1912, a ship sank called the Titanic. On board were 3 Americans who were against the federal banking system as we know it today. Once those 3 were eliminated, guess what happened?
Gee, Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve banking system law became into being. And
those are last week's.
Up until 1913, we didn't pay taxes on our income to the federal government. Gee, isn't that amazing?
The federal government funded most of its expenditures by way of tariffs on import duties on foreign-made products. And if you pay attention to that, you see what's going on now. China is threatening to withhold the raw materials that we need in this country, okay, for the factories. We are not an independent nation anymore. We are dependent on others. This may start a new spirit of independence where we make our own shit. okay, our own stuff.
Remember not so long ago, President Trump was talking about making America great again and manufacturing in the United States, those things we used to manufacture in the United States? China is responsible for 95% of the things we need to make vaccines, or make vaccines themselves, okay? Who let that happen? Why, prior presidents. The two Bushes, Bill Clinton, Mr. Obama, and a bunch of corrupt and greedy politicians. So you can blame those guys that NAFTA and the other stuff, that we exported stuff to other countries and had them make it cheaper than we could, send it back to us. Now we're depending on China for vaccines and material to make vaccines. We were stupid. But then again, we didn't know our politicians were up against us. We didn't know it. People like Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Feinstein, are all in the hip pocket of China. Check it out.
Yeah, and Sanders is in the hip pocket of the Stalinists.
Well,
Russia. But our previous presidents, the two Bushes, the Billy Bob, and the Abomination, have done a good job of selling this country down the river.
I forgot to add one.
Who's that?
Who opened up China?
Nixon.
Yes, a corrupt Republican president named Nixon and his buddy. This had no name escape me.
Agnew?
Not Agnew. No. Jury guy. Oh, shoot. Oh, I didn't think of my tongue. Oh. Where's glasses? Oh, I can't think of his name.
Oh, I know who you're talking. Secretary of State.
No. He was.
Nope.
Oh, shoot. That's bad happens.
That's called CRS.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it will pass. Okay?
You know from experience.
Yes. An hour from now, the name will come to you.
I'm driving home. Oh, yes.
I gotta go back and put it on the air. I remember now.
I just saw his name the other day too, and I can't.
While you guys were talking, I've had so many thoughts about what the kids in the chat room are saying and what you were saying, and I'm telling you, I've lost it all. I mean, it's there, and the next minute it's gone. It's been replaced with something else. The guy's got to slow down. Well,
there's a street name for him in Nuremberg. I know. I cannot remember. In school too.
We got 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well.
So we're going to take a break here, students, kids. Okay? School's on a coronavirus break here for 4 or 5 minutes till we can catch our breath. Okay, we will talk to you in a few.
Maybe the name will come back to me.
We's back. We's live.
Hello, y'all.
And yeah, I am being brave. I'm using the glass. I learned a long time ago not to chew on glass. It has a tendency to cut your mouth. But if you just put it to your lips and drink it, nice and slow, feels so soothing going down, almost like a pinch of tobacco between your cheek and gum. Okay, guys.
Anyway, the name of Henry Kissinger.
Yep. Henry, guess who's Kissinger now?
He's the one who told Nixon we need to divide the Chinese communists and the Russian communists, and it was to them that we opened up China to the rest of the world. And the rest is history. Anyway, before I go in this next story, I'll do a little groundwork here. Just recently, I learned that the United States Army has developed a readily transportable forward operating base, or FOB, to handle 150 people that can be deployed pretty well anywhere in the world. Once set up, we'll have a enclosure with barbed wire or concertina wire. And we'll have ballistic protection that's proof against the infamous 7.62 by 54R Russian round, and provide fragmentation protection from 82mm mortars that land outside the perimeter. And like it wasn't set up with its electricity and food and water, so they'll handle 150 people. It also makes a good temporary detention center for people. So just keep that in mind, and that's what I'll lead into the story. Government to allow suspension of guns and ammo sales, restriction of food and water in Illinois town. In the Illinois town of Champaign, home of the University of Annapolis, Illinois, excuse me, the executive order gives the mayor, Democratic female, an unprecedented level of power that would allow for, among other things, the suspension of sale of ammunition of firearms. According to WAND TV, Champaign Mayor Deborah Finan announced the executive order because of the novel coronavirus. As one doctor wrote 2 weeks ago, 20% of the cold are classified as coronaviruses. In addition to allowing the mayor to ban the sale of guns and ammunition, the executive order lets her restrict the sale and distribution of food and water, as well as take title to private property. The executive order also lets her ban the sale of liquor, allow the mayor to shut down liquor stores and bars. WAND TV reported that the Champaign Municipal Code permits the mayor to suspend certain liberties for a limited period of time, in time of emergency. There are, of course, potential remedies the town may take. As of yet, none of the powers that have been given to the mayor have been used. For a list of powers that the mayor knows, however, a list of powers that the mayor knows, now, now, they put K in it, now, has decided on a Friday meeting, and I'm there to look at what could be coming to your community. This is a full meeting for those of you interested in how our freedom dies. By the way, as Katie Padlet pointed out over at townhall.com, there is a confirmed case of coronavirus in the area of Champaign, Illinois at the time this was written. This was written March the 14th. Now, the executive order allows the mayor to suspend parts of the state's Open Meetings Act, violation of the First Amendment. Also bans the sale of gas and other liquid, flammable, or combustible products unless it goes directly into your vehicle's gas tank.
Guess you never heard of the word siphon.
That means if you want to go buy gas, purely for your vehicle, or RV, it cannot be put into a gasoline can or anything else. Other provisions are more sinister. For instance, the mayor's office can shut off power, gas, water, and other utilities. It also close bars and taverns and all liquor stores. The two most dire provisions, however, will allow the mayor to declare a ban on sale of all firearms, ammunition, and will always to obtain a title to private property, quote, as may be necessary to deal with a disaster or emergency, unquote. The executive order allows the city to be flexible to provide the proper response to the emergency needs of our community, according to Champaign Communication Manager Jeff Hamilton. None of the options will necessarily... That's not pretty right. None of the options will necessarily be implemented or available in order to protect the welfare and the safety of our community if needed. Hey, we're there twice, two places that make sense. Now this mayor says that she had many of these powers along. She's had them since the beginning when she became mayor. All I've done is to enumerate them, and now the public is aware of it. So I am the liquor commissioner. I could shut down bars yesterday. I could have shut them down 2 years ago. Nothing has changed in respect to that. It's just that we have laid it out so people are aware of that. In respect to other items that are listed in the attachment, they've been listed in the city code for 15 years. You're in Champaign, Illinois, move out now. Let me reiterate that none of these things are going to affect the immediate future. However, the fact that they need to be outlined by the campaign city council doesn't bode well for the future. It's become clear that increasing government intervention is necessary to stop the spread of the infamous coronavirus. Anyway, the success of that intervention, however, is based on trust. When we tell you I can't exercise my constitutional rights, and that you can take my property because of the lease, I don't trust you. That's right. I don't trust the government anyway. You're no reason to believe that these powers the mayor has will stop COVID-19, especially the part about the mayor being allowed to suspend gun sales. The reason for this is what? To prevent widespread societal breakdown? The idea of stopping people from defending themselves had nothing to do with coronavirus and quite frankly the height of insanity. Okay. Why does this mayor and previous mayors have these kind of powers? And what would you do with the unruly people? Where are you going to put them? City jail? You're right on the road. You can call the army. They use FOB.
Yes, they'll bring your concentration camp.
Yeah. Bring your writers out, and 150 people go there, and 150 go there. Yeah.
Who's this?
And you gotta take away your guns now so they can't fight back.
Just something naughty.
Well, oh shit.
I got another comment.
Take away your guns and ammunition so you can't fight being hauled away. You can't fight to save the property being taken over illegally by the mayor and the other folks in here.
But it does sound there's only one way you can get liquor, and that's if you lick her first.
I continue.
This message is held from you. You guys are doing it again out there.
At least the executive order makes it clear why they might want your property. The executive order allows the mayor to order city employees or other agents on behalf of the city to take possession of any real or personal property of any person who would require a full title with such lesser interest that may be necessary to deal with a disaster emergency, and take possession of and for a limited time occupy use any real estate to accomplish alleviation of the disaster and the effects thereof. So they take over your house or your barn. For what? Put people in there?
Your house is too big for one person, so we got to put 4 or 5 other families in there with you.
And how are you going to keep them there?
We're gonna put bars and windows on the windows and doors.
Well, we said that. Oh, these portable FOBs around your place. Pack them in. Okay. For restricting gun sales, not so much. It says, Executive Order really says the city may order the discontinuance of selling, distributing, dispensing, or doing explosives or explosive agents, firearms, ammunition, of any character whatsoever. I don't know about you, my firearms, ammunition, don't really have to carry. They're just black.
I'm lucky. I don't have to worry. I don't have any firearms or
They
ammunition.
just kind of sit there.
Yeah.
Anyway. Now, the city of Champagne's official Twitter account put out a statement for its Twitter account pushing back against what they call false claims circulating online. There is currently no firearm ban in the city, and no immediate intent to close businesses, seize property, or restrict alcohol sales, according to the statement. But the statement completely forgot to address the problem, which is that the mayor can decide to do some of these things if she wants to. And there are other problematic parts of the executive order too. One can understand why a committee might want to control, restrict, allocate, or regulate the use, sale, production, or distribution of food, water, fuel, clothing, and other commodities, material, goods, services, and resources. What then make a provision of or require the continuation, termination, disconnection, or suspension of national gas, electric power, water, sewer, communications, or other public utilities or infrastructure? That one might require some explanation. Yeah, just a little bit. Feinstein also said this is about making sure that we are prepared and ready for any eventuality. I hope all this is forgotten and that none of the emergency measures we have put into place are necessary. One hopes so, but it doesn't explain why we said the constitutional right of the citizens in that corner of America be abrogated, and worse than why is this coming to a town? Okay, why this isn't coming to a town near you sometime soon? Let's hope other mayors don't get the same idea. I know down, let's see, Newcastle, Pennsylvania, all public offices are closed to visitors. You can't come in, public library is closed. City of Pittsburgh, I know the Diocese of Pittsburgh has said you're not obligated to go to Mass on Sunday. Stay home. Diocese, Catholic Youngstown, indicated that as of last Friday, all fish fries that make money for their churches will be discontinued. Of course, they're telling people, if you're sick, don't go to Mass, don't contaminate anybody else, just stay home. Some Catholic churches I go to, when I went to today was Marian Rite, and when I usually go to the Byzantine Rite, it's Mass as usual. And it's fish fries as usual, too.
A lot of these churches could continue to do the fish fries if they just make it takeout only. I mean, at least that would be something.
They could do that.
But
I think the governor of Ohio is limited to 100, 200 people in the city. The fish fries, my wife and daughters help out at the one Maronite church. Hardly anybody sits down and eats. We either take out. Okay, they call in. No big deal. Other places, it's a big affair. It makes money for churches.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just like the gun show here that was at today. It makes money for the fire department.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, as one priest mentioned, back in the past, we had all the other epidemic going on. What were people, the common folk, encouraged to do? Answer!
I just had a thought, and I don't want to lose it. I don't remember the politician, I do, but I don't want to say it out loud. Said something like, when are you people going to give up on your God and guns and let the government take care of you?
I'm not. Anyway,
Just thought I'd throw that out. Seemed very apropos at the
way
moment.
back in the Middle Ages, even before then, when there were plagues, viruses, Black Death, people got together and prayed for salvation, prayed for assistance.
Does anybody ever get the idea that maybe God is sending you signals?
You know what? At Mass today, that's what the bishop said. This could be a punishment for our sins because we haven't learned that we need to follow the Ten Commandments.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a punishment for our sins, but he's warning
Well-
you. He's warning us that we're
Well-
straying away from him.
He has no, now this is, it's like, he didn't mention 9/11. This could be a sign from God that we have strayed, we need to reorient ourselves back to his ways. Okay? And I would not doubt it in the least that, once again, mankind has gone too far. And maybe it would be a punishment because they're considering the evils of socialism.
God has punished us for our evil ways several times. One of them was Sodom and Gomorrah, when he destroyed those two cities because of their less than desirable activities. Okay.
In some places I wish he hasn't tried it yet. Like San Francisco.
I see one of the Muslim countries that is so Muslim fearing, who attacked us twice last week at one of our military bases over in Iraq.
Camp Taji had been there a few times.
Okay, killed a couple soldiers the first attack and wounded a couple the second attack. Is now bitching and moaning because the West won't send them any test kits to prevent the spread of the coronavirus.
Why would we?
And
Aid and comfort the enemy.
I will send you a bulldozer so you can build a nice 10-mile long ditch and throw your dead
Well,
and bury them.
honestly, the graveyards of those that have died over there are big enough to be seen from satellites. We can only hope. I won't say anymore.
In other words, God's coming back with the final crusade.
I didn't say that. I thought though.
I just said it. And maybe that's a warning. Maybe God told me to say that as a warning. I don't know. Sometimes I get these things that pop in my head and I have no idea where they come from. So,
I did know the stuff that pops into my head comes from pornography.
Yeah, there's a meme on Facebook. I know a number of governors have decided no assemblages or assemblies are 100 or 200 more people. And hey, no problem. Biden can't get 200 people.
I have a question from Jack.
Uh-oh. Hi, Jack.
Hi, Jack. It says, so what do you all think? How long before they drop the hammer for total lockdown and curfew? I'm going to say, I see somebody as, Jones has beat me to it. He said probably the next 2 weeks. I'm going to say 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4. They got to allow this to fester real good before they drop the total hammer. So,
I would not be surprised in the next week or two. There are more bans put in place. Travel bans. There may be a total shutdown, like saying, hey, you can't do anything but go to the store. Stay home.
if they do that, I'm leaving and I'm going to my undisclosed location, and if they try to stop me, somebody's going to die. Pure and simple. I may end up being dead, but all I can hope is that I can take a few dozen with me. So, yeah, that.
But they're shutting down the travel ban to Europe and from Europe. They will allow Americans to come back. Well, in the book, executive orders, President Ryan orders the complete shutdown of the air system.
Earth?
I'm sorry, the transportation, the airlines. There's a 6 p.m. where they were land where they're at and stay there. Okay? And the Secretary of Transportation, refuses to give that order and he gets fired. And they discussed in the book too a ban on interstate travel, the constitutionality of that.
Well, that was just listening to
I know. I heard that.
Mr. Jones's show, and he said Trump is considering that, and I think Mr. Trump is getting some bad advice. Okay, but being that he's getting criticized for everything he does by the opposition party, I would not be surprised if he don't put a total ban, and it's gonna take a while to implement that because they have to set up all those checkpoints to stop the travel, and that's where the big main highways are going to come in first. All you towns or cities out there that have a bypass going around you, you're already circled. All they have to do is put a contingent of tank or a couple squad them in at each one of these underpasses or road going under the bypass, and you're done. You ain't leaving.
And to do that, the National Guard will be mobilized.
Mm-hmm.
They're already testing the waters up in New York.
I know.
Yep.
I know that. That's what brought that out. The National Guard will be mobilized because the state, local police forces will be unable, manpower-wise, to do this.
Yeah, they can't set up the necessary roadblocks to stop.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people you need to be taking some dirt road trips. Find a way to get to where you want to go by dirt roads so you stay off the main highways. They cannot block every intersection or crossroad, but they will block the main highways, number one, and then probably have roving patrols on some of the other ones. And,
So, just words to the wise. Keep the ear out. And just listen to what's going on. Your eyes open. You see military vehicles, military personnel, military helicopters flying around it. Gee, I haven't seen some in my area before. Something could be up there.
yeah, we have to watch that depot down by Geneva. Even though it's supposedly a maintenance depot, they got acres of equipment down there. We have the Army Reserves thing up here on Morgan Street. And then we have the Stryker Force up in Cambridge Springs.
I know.
And so this can turn into a bloody mess real fast.
Well, the Stryker unit, none of the National Guard facilities I'm aware of allowed to have live ammunition in their building.
Mm-hmm.
So that would come from Fort Town. Yeah.
And speaking of that, years ago, under the Clinton Eastas, they removed all the, I don't know if the reserves have got the bolts back. They removed all the bolts from the M60s and the M16s that they have at their base. No ammo. Okay? If they have something that happens in their area, they are supposedly, when I've talked to them, supposedly they would be supplied within 45 minutes to an hour coming up from Youngstown or someplace like that. They would chopper it in. I said, you realize how much damage can be done in 45 minutes to an hour? Okay? You guys won't even be here to receive the shipment. The enemy will be there to receive the supplies, okay?
To the best of my knowledge, none of the Army Reserve armories that I was aware of had anything like that happen. They had, we had our M16, we had pistols, bolts, and some ammo.
Well, like I say, I'm going by what they told me at the time under the auspices.
The guard may be different. I know the Pennsylvania Guard, for the most part, there's no light ammo allowed to be in their centers.
Yeah, 'cause they told me that if they needed anything, they'd come see me. That was back when I had Ma Deuce and the baby
Wow.
Ma Deuce.
I guess they can't see you now.
And but
Hey, you can do it. You can do a trade. Maybe you're around, you get your taxes reduced, or just think you're like, okay, just pay you.
no, I just should not pay them.
Well,
You know, I'm tired of being stolen from. Legalized thievery.
not at all.
Yeah. So maybe I need to be the first one to start a tax protest. I did it once before. I was younger then, had more stamina on the mouth. But anyhow, you were saying somebody was saying something about Omar married her campaign manager.
Yeah.
So brother is out, campaign manager is in.
She denied having any relationship with her or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, beside the point.
She embezzled. She embezzled several thousands of dollars from, I don't know, where did they say it was? I forget. And she denied that her husband was her brother until her other brother said, yeah, they were married.
Yeah.
Lying slut.
She is a fraud.
Yeah.
Word go.
I don't know why the Congress hasn't ousted her from Congress.
Because
She's
She's
part of the
Democrat.
squad.
because
in
Muslims
Pelosi's.
are protect the species.
I'll protect their species, all right.
If you say any word against Muslims and anybody LGBTQRN community on Facebook,
Mickey Mouse.
that Facebook censors disagree with, you know it's true. I know this is previous experience. They'll put you in a Facebook ship. You
Oh.
can't do it.
By the way, I had somebody talk to me today at the gun show, and they were surprised that it was still on the air, and they said, we found out about it because it's being advertised on Facebook.
Yeah.
The radio show's going on.
Wasn't me.
Weren't you?
No, I didn't advertise it.
Weren't you? Must be some other
Must be
patriot out
Jack.
there. Maybe Jack. Might have been, well, it could be any one of the kids in the chat room as far as that goes. I thank you. Keep pushing it. Keep pushing it.
John Weber posts stuff every now and then.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Speaking of John. Hi, John. I don't know if you're listening, but when you gonna come down again, man?
God, come on over.
Yeah, come on over. Come on over and we'll go out and break the curfew and go get some liquor somewhere.
Roger, champagne on the way.
Get a prime rib or something somewhere about midnight at night.
I really needed to start building that still a long time ago. I should have.
What's that?
I should have built my still. Ever since watching MASH when I was a kid, I wanted to build a still. Make my own liquor.
If you take the causeway across Middle Ohio, 322,
Yeah.
any eateries over there on your side? I've never here.
Yeah, on the other side, there's several of them well, there were. I haven't been there for a while either. There were several.
I don't want to see them.
But if you take the causeway, then nobody can come back and forth from Pennsylvania to Ohio, so maybe you ought to leave the causeway and just cross it.
There's a bar just across the causeway over into Ohio called, I want to say Scooters or something like that.
Yeah, I think it used to be it used to be something else.
It's a nice bar, and they have like really good steaks and such.
I haven't been that way.
I got friends that live over that way. A good place to go over there also is the Covered Bridge Pizza. It's right beside McDonald's on the left as you're going into Andover. They have really good pizza there. But I mean, if you're not in the area, well, it's not really a point.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go drive 4.5 hours to get a pizza. Get a DiGiorno instead.
Hey, call. Hey, on the way back, did you ever warm up?
The
I got one here. A little one here. Well, really, I have two of them, but we'll do this one. I like this one better. Bernie gets torn apart after telling woman from Russia that Soviet Union wasn't socialist. Wasn't socialist.
Wait a minute. Bernie said it wasn't socialist?
Yeah, Bernie told it was torn apart after telling a woman from Russia that Soviet Union wasn't socialist.
Wait a minute. Union of Soviet Socialist Republics.
It's right in the name, you dipshit. I'm
Now-
sorry, you dipshit.
Socialism, okay. Socialism comes in different forms.
Yeah.
There is communism. There is fascism.
Commonly called Nazism.
No. Fascism and Nazism. Actually, Mussolini had fascism. He's fascist. He actually started fascism before now. Germany, Hitler modified it to his Nazism. This is one. Communism, socialism is the row one. Nazism. This is one. Oh, shoot.
I know what you're getting at there.
Anyway,
It's an ism.
so yeah.
So this is off of World Net Daily. World Net Daily. Originally appeared on the Western Journal. The presidential campaign of Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders has begun to flounder. He's like a fish out of water. He's floundering. Sanders' road to the Democratic Party nomination was weakened significantly after Super Tuesday. His chief rival, former Vice President Joe Biden, Communist China, had a strong showing in which he reemerged as a top contender. He's the top contender. I could have been a contender.
That Jack on here. Is that Jack's little symbol right here?
On Monday, Sanders attempted to revive his weakened candidacy with a Fox News town hall. Unfortunately for the Democrat socialist, he received some pushback from the crowd on his far-left proposal. Audience member Margaret Best, a student from the University of Michigan, told Sanders that she was from Russia and described it as a country that was greatly impacted by the negative effects of socialism. She proceeded to ask Sanders what assurances he could provide that democratic socialism would not have the same results. Sanders responded by trying to draw a line between Soviet communism and his own plans. It's kind of hard to do when you're a Stalinist communist. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, you honeymoon in USSR, and you approve of what's going on in Venezuela, and you approve of what Castro did in Cuba.
You're a Stalinist communist.
You're very shocked.
Yeah. What happened and existed in the Soviet Union was not socialism. He said it was authoritarian communism. Both. It was socialism with authoritarian fist. And communism, whether in Cuba, whether in the Soviet Union, whether in other countries, was marked by totalitarianism, was marked by throwing millions of people into gulag. Yeah. Stalinism is about as bad as it got. Yeah. But Stalin's responsible for Cuba. Okay, and you support what Cuba did, Castro did. So, in the past, Sanders has reacted poorly when socialism has been criticized. Perhaps he has realized that full-on embrace of dictatorship is not going to win him the nomination, much less the presidency. Now, I don't think I need to go any more than that. He was confronted, he didn't know how to handle it, and he's trying to defend himself by trying to figure out how to draw a line between Stalinism and his communist philosophy. There is no line, okay? Just because you change the name or add a word to it, it's still the same thing. It's repression of the people's rights, supposedly for the good of the populace, which usually ends up being suppression of the majority in favor of the few. And those few are the ones at the top of the food chain.
Who has the power in the army?
Yeah.
Secret police.
You'll get a kick out of that, Daryl. That's what I should you. Sam Elliott.
Yes, yes. I was saying Elliot, but I couldn't. Sam. I'll read that.
I like that. Do you realize that these people argue over which gun is the best to carry in your truck? I like that.
There's a meme, I'm sure I know who shared it, but actor Sam Elliott, he says there, "City folk, when the food runs out, we'll go to the rural areas and take from them." And Sam be like, you realize these people argue over which gun is the best to put in their truck.
Yep.
Nice idea, guys, city folk, but don't try.
Or do try. We can always take your vehicle and siphon the gas out and put it in our truck.
Hey, there you go. That worked.
Yeah. Good old siphon. Yeah, it's,
They use the vehicle as far as barricade.
yeah, you know, go another 10 miles and you stop and you just siphon it out another vehicle, you know.
I dare say Sam Elliott didn't actually say that. I think
Well, I'm sure
I
he
think he's a liberal type, but the expression on his face.
Priceless.
Yeah, before we go any further, guys, we got some gun shows coming up, so I want to get them in there and then we can finish up. Okay. Okay, we got two coming up next weekend. One is Scott Township, March 21st, 22nd at the Scott Township Fire Hall, I believe it is. It's down near where Elwood C was, and I think we're good.
It's Route 108 between Route 19 and Newcastle.
Yeah.
The neighborhood. Well, so, of course, back then you can still carry.
Yeah, they're telling you can't carry a loaded gun into the show.
You can steal it good enough. They'll never know.
No, well, unless they pat you down. Give them a half hour to quit. In Harbor Creek, at Harbor Creek, that's where I'm going to be at next weekend, March the 21st and 22nd, at the Harbor Creek Fire Hall and Social Hall on US Route 20, Harbor Creek, PA. Okay? Now, March the 28th and 29th, I won't be there because apparently they don't have any tables and they haven't called me. Hidden Valley Sportsman's Club, you need to Google it because I'm not going to try and describe their map to you. It is hidden. They got a proper name for the place, Hidden Valley Sportsman's Club.
Oh.
Now, April 18th and 19th, over in Ohio, if they don't shut it down, is the Ashtabula County Fairgrounds Show at the Ashtabula County Fairgrounds, Jefferson, Ohio. Now, like I said, that's if they don't close it down. If they're closing restaurants and the governor's already put a ban on 100 people or more gathering at one time, I'm pretty sure I can almost feel it in my bones that when this show gets here in October, it'll be closed.
I can't recall Governor Wolf said anything about
It hasn't yet so far. 250 is what they have for a limit in Pennsylvania right at the present moment. Now, they did close that big one down in Oakmont, or wherever it is down by Philadelphia.
Oaks, PA.
Yeah, Oaks, PA, because it's right there in the cesspool. And then April the 18th and 19th at Cherry Tree Township Fire Hall, Cherry Tree Road, Titusville, PA, is the one that I'm putting on if the governor doesn't shut us down beforehand. I'm going to go ahead with it, and so is the guy that's working with me. We put a lot of legwork into the show. We've given out over 1,100 flyers.
I hope we're not under martial law.
Well, I hope so too. But if it is, maybe I'll hold it in defiance.
What do you do over at Chapmanville again, you know?
Yeah, October the 10th and 11th of,
I gotta try to get up there, because two people I know that work there at the fire hall. They're volunteer firemen.
yeah,
Roger and Anita.
yeah. Yeah, I have the flyers. I have them up at the house. We've been passing them out, so, but, yeah, it's getting to be a strange situation. It's very fluid right now. You don't know from one minute to the next what to plan.
Well, I have an idea, a little workaround. You know how some nightclubs, they have maximum capacity of, say, 90 people, but 200 people want to go. And about there's a big bouncer only letting certain people in. What if it gets to that point, if it gets that crazy, people are going to want to go. Just have the person at the door
Yeah.
get the
What
clicker.
are you doing that weekend? April 18th and 19th?
I don't yet know yet, because my schedule was so mixed up.
Well, the reason I said his idea is what I was thinking about, having somebody outside, as two people go out, that two people come
Yeah,
in.
I mean,
Okay?
because if
Once you hit 250 people inside, you
only get a
yeah.
Well, the fact is, my mother-in-law is still in rehab, my brother-in-law is in rehab. So we got,
Speaking of your brother-in-law, has he made any improvement with his condition?
they're pretty sure they got the Lyme disease either cured or at least in remission right now, or dormant. It's the problem with the blood of the brain. He does well in a wheelchair, but he has problems needing a walker because he can't. His balance, his ability to stand up is not good. So, we'll take care of his animals. We'll take care of the mail. I won't get detailed. So I don't know, you know, I may say tomorrow I'm gonna do this, and then I end up.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. We're all in that state of flux now, so we don't know what to expect on that. But I got a story here. I don't know if my voice will hold up. You don't need to. If somebody wants to read this, don't need to go into all 3 pages of details. Just read the first page. It's Californicators.
According to Wilnet Daily, government outlaws freelance work. Freelance jobs are feudalism, says California Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez. She persuaded California's legislature to pass a new law reclassifying freelance workers as employees. That means many people who hire them must now give them benefits like overtime, unemployment insurance, etc. Politicians said it would help freelancers a lot. Of course, much of the media agreed. Vox called it a victory for workers everywhere. Sigh, young reporters just don't understand that stifling economic freedom always creates nasty side effects. Actually, more understand now because they got a very personal lesson. Once the bill passed, Vox Media cut hundreds of freelance writing jobs. When Gonzalez was asked if she felt bad about that, she sneered, "Those weren't real jobs." The arrogance of politicians. People choose jobs. Freelancers like flexibility. Politicians have no right to say certain jobs aren't good enough. You're thinking you're helping us, but you're not, says musician Ari Hurston in my new video. He says the anti-gig work law would crush the California music economy. Why? Before the law passed, if he played a gig where he'd hire a drummer, bassist, and guitar, I just cut each a check for $200. Now I have to take that drummer, put him on payroll, W-2 him, get workers' comp insurance, unemployment insurance. I have to pay payroll taxes. I also have to now hire a payroll company. Also, to hire musicians for just one night, the paperwork alone might cost more than the music. All right.
Yeah, we don't need to go into all the details. Basically, it boils down to no more free enterprise. We gotta find a way to tax these free enterprisers. Okay? They call them freelancers, but we gotta figure out a way to get the money in more ways, not just the income tax, but tax money for unemployment compensation or insurance premiums.
And also, it keeps your thumb on workers' necks.
I think we ought to. That's why I think we ought to legalize prostitution. Just think of all those tax dollars that are going to waste. And that.
All right, I want to do this one.
You want to do that one? Go ahead.
Most of you are probably aware of this one. Auto worker told by Biden he was full of SH, you know what? His viral video speaks out. This is dated March 12th. Auto worker Jerry Wayne said Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden went off the deep end when Wayne pressed the former vice president about his position on gun rights during a bristling interaction Tuesday that was caught on video. During an appearance on Wednesday, Fox News, Fox and Friends, Wayne said he used the opportunity to Biden visit to the Fiat Chrysler auto plant in Detroit to try to clarify the understanding of Biden's position on guns. I asked him how he wanted to get the vote of the working man when a lot of us wield arms. We bear arms and we like to do that. But if he wants to give us work and take our guns, I don't see how he's going to get the same vote. The viral video at the moment shows Biden swearing at Wayne that he accused Democratic frontrunner of actively trying to infringe on American Second Amendment rights and take away our guns. You're full of SH, you know what? I support the Second Amendment, Biden said. No, he doesn't. Really. You're working for me, man, Wayne replied. Now, get this and understand this. Biden then told Wayne he was not working for him and that he don't be a horse's you know what. Politicians are elected by us and they're supposed to work for us, not the other way around. The kind of mentality Biden has, the arrogance that he has, it's like Schumer, Pelosi, and a bunch of other ones on Capitol Hill, and even our own state governments and local governments. They get that way because they become career politicians.
Queer politicians, did you say?
Yes.
Yes, queer politicians.
Which is why we need term limits. We can't afford these people to run amok for so long and not do anything good for the country and get this kind of mentality. Politicians work for us, we the American people. And we have the right to get rid of them. And they don't do that. Anyway. When Wayne said he'd seen... I'm sorry. When Wayne said he had seen a viral video in which Biden said he would take people's firearms, former Vice President said any such video was a lie. Joe, they got you on video, live and in color, was live and in color. They got you in color, doing and saying what you did. So were you just lying about that? That you really didn't mean what you said and did? Anyway. In fact, as noted Wednesday on Fox when Biden was asked in an August 2019 CNN interview about people concerned that a Biden administration means they're going to come from my guns. Biden said, you're right if you have an assault weapon. AR-15 is not an assault weapon. Earlier this month, in appearance with former Texas Rep. Beto, real name Francis O'Rourke, he said, "You're going to take care of the gun problem with me. O'Rourke made firearms confiscation." Get that. O'Rourke, when he was running for president, Democratic ticket, the Democratic side, made firearms confiscation the centerpiece of his own presidential campaign. Okay, during a Democratic debate last year, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15 and your AK-47. During action with Wayne, Biden spoke of the popular AR-15 as AR-14s, and that's why any gun owner needs 100 rounds. If you're a gun owner, you need more than 100 rounds. But our worker left the interaction very unhappy. It was a bit disturbing to see that a politician wants to take away my right to defend myself, when he said during his Fox interview. He doesn't need to touch anyone's weapon at all. What we need to do is we need to concentrate and teach people how to respect firearms and how to use them, not take them away. I learned at the age of 10, okay, how to properly use a firearm. I'm now 63. 53 years later. Oh, okay. Well, not obsessed over Biden lying with him. Wayne said the former vice president could have curbed what he said a bit. Yeah, I thought I was pretty articulate and respectful. I didn't try to raise any feather, and he just went off the deep end, Wayne said. I mean, I guess technically speaking, he can say what he wants. Not really. Wayne conceded, but he was the vice president. He wants to be president now. You're a candidate, you work for the American people, and if you can't understand that, then you don't deserve to have a leg in the race. That goes for any candidate in any office. They work for us. The moment they say or decide, no, we don't work for you, they need to be got rid of.
I'm all for that.
Wayne said that being an individual that went viral resulted in him having the absolute privilege and honor to be the voice of millions of Americans on guns. And his right to be protected with their heart and soul is not to be infringed. Bravo on that one, Mr. Jerry Wayne.
Okay, well, we're up against it.
No.
Any final comments? We'll start with Mr. Grinnell over there.
Wash your hands. Be smart. Look out for your brothers and sisters. And if you know that you have an older neighbor who, a lot of us can order stuff online, get it delivery. They may not know how to do that. Just check on people. Just do the right and honorable thing. As what was her name? She had a show on your station that she ended up.
Joyce Riley?
Yep. She'd always end her program, do the right and honorable thing.
Mr. Ty?
You do not need hand sanitizer, okay? You wash your hands, nice warm soapy water, at least 20 seconds, do a good job. You can hum, sing a few songs, wash your hands. And do it well. And don't leave it like the lady, I can't think what she was doing in here in Pennsylvania. She was doing taped a presentation. She was the health department. And she's talking about, don't touch your fingers with your mouth, or touch your fingers with your face, or your nose, or put your finger in your mouth. And what does she do when it comes time for her to turn the page of her presentation? Finger goes up, to her tongue, down to the paper. Do what I say, not what I do. You don't need to run out en masse and take your toilet paper roll you find in old supermarkets. I know I did, check the last few days in parts of West Pennsylvania and Eastern Ohio, and every store I went into, whether it be Walmart, or Giant Eagle Food Market, or Dollar General, there was not a roll of toilet paper to be had. And most of the hand sanitizers in each location were gone.
Two
Be
comments.
smart, people. Come on.
Two final comments. One, if you are that afraid and you want something that will disinfect you, get yourself bleach and dilute it and take a rag and wash your hands with the bleach. That'll be as effective at killing anything as there is out there. Okay? You just don't want to drink it straight down because it will take care of it. Like I said, will kill almost anything out there, including you. But, you know, rinse your hands with bleach. They put bleach and chlorine in those swimming pools to keep the bacteria content down for people to swim in public. Why? Because it kills the germs. Now, getting back to this coronavirus thing real quick, like, come about August or September when this subsides, because I've been told that the coronavirus does not do well in warm weather. That's why you see it up here in the northern hemisphere and you haven't seen any major outbreaks in the southern hemisphere, because we are getting ready to head into the summer. We are going through the winter. So as we get closer to the summer, the number of cases are declining. But come August and September, you're going to see these liberal news media going on there saying that Trump overreacted to this. First he underreacted, he didn't do it fast enough, now he's going to be charged with overreacting. So just pay attention. If you haven't got them, get your beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. And
one final note. Don't show up my doorstep looking for food. Okay? You should have been stocking food away. Okay? This is my EDC. Okay? 45 caliber pistol. It already has one human kill to its credit. Word to the wise.
yeah, it's the same way. Don't come to my house looking for food.
You got bayonets.
I got bayonets. Lots of bayonets. I got swords.
You got them too.
Yeah, I got swords. And I got tomahawks and hatchets. Knives. I got them all except for guns. Bullets. But, yeah, be wary. Go, if you think you got enough ammo, go buy another box or two. Because if this goes dark as bad as it can, you're not going to be able to get it. If these people follow through with the threat to shut down the sales of guns and ammo, where do you think you're going to get that ammo? You're either going to have to go kill somebody and take his, or get killed in the process of trying to do it, in which case he's going to take what you've got. So, use your head and be prepared for the worst, and if it don't happen, it'll be all good news. On that note, kiddies, good night. We'll see you next week, Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise.
And right, of course, good oath to say you can't have many more than two people.
Okay, Scott.